we're winding down, wrapping up here.
Mm-hmm.
I want to ask you is, we spoke a little bit about like loneliness and depression, and then maybe for the listener who's kind of going through that, what advice would you give them, especially as how we can use the tools that we have in our faith to help us kind of push past the feelings of loneliness and depression?
Yeah, and it's interesting statistic that came up for me, right? And one study found that Generation Z, which is ages 18 to 22, was found to be the loneliest generation, with 75% saying that they feel lonely or disconnected. And so part of 79%
79%.
reporting feelings of loneliness.
Okay.
That's huge.
Yeah.
That's huge.
That's
Why are
wild.
they not connected, right? What's going on there, you know? And so tapping into how to help them in that area. So your question was, how do we...
What are some ways that practical advice?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, try to find people of same interests, same values, and connect with them.
Yeah.
Find opportunities to go out and meet people. But I get anxiety may get in the way of that, and it's not easy. But strike up conversation. If you're going to school, right, just talk to somebody. You're going to find people who may have some same interest in you that you can start that. Church, of course, is a great place to also, right, find some connections there. And especially what you guys are doing here with young adults. You have a place where people can come and get connected, right?
Yeah.
Church can be, I get also, isolating because you go there, you do your thing, and then you go leave. But to them, I would encourage, because as a cradle Catholic, I didn't, my faith was important to me, but I operated under the, well, you got to do right or else God's going to punish you, kind of, right? That was my sort of like, well, growing up as a Catholic. And of course, the New Testament teaches us otherwise. Jesus teaches us otherwise. But I didn't get a deeper understanding of my faith and benefit from my faith until I got involved. Got involved in, right, Eucharistic ministry, got involved in being a lector. Because again, these are people that also, you meet people that share the same interests that you start to band with. And I think that's another area to sort of connect.
Yeah.
Again, clubs, right? If you like hiking, we have a lot of hiking clubs here, right?
Yeah.
There's a place you can find same interests in terms of
So just trying going out there and doing healthy actions, right? That's really what it's got to be.
Yeah.
What about ones who are just, they're so overwhelmed, they're burning out, and I can't afford to do another thing. What would you say to them?
Yeah. So one is maybe take a look at like where you are in terms of all the things that you have going on that's making it overwhelming, right? And really prioritize. It's okay. And yes, I can speak from being older now. But I remember as a 20-year-old, like you want to do everything, or you're trying to fit everything in, and it's hard, and this and that. But really, maybe using an example, if this helps, of my dissertation, right? So as a psychologist, part of the finishing touches is you got to write this big, massive dissertation, and that may include like some research on some area. And part of that also is you find like different things that, oh wow, I didn't realize this, and you can branch off to that. My professors would tell me, you know what the best dissertation is? A finished one. So, right, focus on one, focus on it, get that one thing done. Yeah. The other stuff that come, hey, after you can then focus on that. Yeah. So what I mean is that, prioritizing your life. What's important in your life now that you want to get to? And are all the things that you're doing, right, all important and you have no room? Or is it like, you know what, maybe this is the most important. This is important too, but I can probably wait, once I do this, that might help decrease that, right?
That anxiety and that stress. For sure. No, that's super helpful. Thank you so much for all your sharing. Any final closing remarks before we sign off today?
No, I think, if people want to really, just be open. Just be open. Some of the other questions was like how to fit it in. Just like, I think prayer is super important. Even for me, just in terms of a busy schedule between patients, just to clear my mind, it's just like saying a quick prayer. Lord Jesus, help me to just move on to the next patient, clear my mind. Thank you for that. Guide me in the next segment in terms of that piece, the next patient that I see. And it doesn't have to be, you fit it in, like exercise,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I don't have time to exercise. Well, one thing I tell patients is, because we think of it, I don't have 30 minutes, so I can't exercise. But the body doesn't know the difference between 30-minute block of exercise or if you do 3 10-minute blocks.
Huh.
It's still exercise.
Wow.
So even prayer, right? You can
Yeah.
do a quick Jesus prayer,
Yeah.
right? But if you do different little prayers all day, it's all going to count. And as you well know, right, prayer helps in terms of
For
our
sure.
life.
Yeah.
And so be open to that. Be open to the gift that God gives us.
Oh,
in
I
our
love
life.
that. That's excellent. Thank you so much for sharing
welcome.
that, and thank you so much for being here.
Yes.
I'm sure that there's going to be a lot of people that listen to us, and you said something that's probably going to strike a chord with them, and especially with the landscape of how mental health is now and faith work-life balance. It's so needed. So thank you so much for being on the show, and we look forward to having you on soon. Right?
Oh,
Because-
very good. Yeah, thank you. Anytime. And thank you so much for inviting me. And thank you for recognizing, right, mental health is an important area of health, because there's still that stigma. But the more we open the door for people to, right, oh, it's okay to talk about that. I
Yeah.
think that's going to help. So tremendous.
Yeah.
Thank you for blessing the people that, follow this podcast and the people
Yeah.
you interact with that, being open to that.